I'm really happy to be back. It's been such a long break. You never know how much you'll miss this until we're gone for a week, but it's really good to be back and casting two of my favorite teams, so I'm really excited.
I am too. Can you remind me what game we're casting again? I actually kind of forgot.
This is BBZ versus Falcon Esports.
Well, I know that those are the teams, but I forgot which game we're playing. Aren't we playing like Legends of New Earth or something like that?
We're playing. I think we're playing World of Warcraft. It's a pretty good game.
World of Warcraft.
People
Okay,
have been...
gotcha. All right, let's all seriousness. We're watching ourselves play some League of Legends here, and we're looking at those bans. I have to say that seeing the Varus ban come out and the Sylas ban makes me really happy, and I know that Fang is super happy about the Senna ban. I do think it's interesting. We're seeing a lot of bot lane flex picks actually coming out there with that Yasuo ban as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're avoiding kind of the mainstay bot laners with the Tristana and the Jinx being available for both sides. The Senna is more of a pocket pick for a lot of AD carry players right now. It's not having a supreme amount of popularity, but I know that Fang is really big on hating it. The Rumble coming through is something I'm really happy with. It's really strong in the jungle. It can also be played mid and top, just at a less potent level, but it's probably the best jungler in the game right now. So it's really good to see these teams adapting to the meta changes.
Yeah, there was a recent patch update. I'm blanking on exactly how it affected things drastically. I know that there was a Hecarim nerf included in there somewhere. So we're probably not going to be seeing as much of him over this time. I do like seeing the Maokai coming out. I think that might actually be in response to Thresh. Being able to put those saplings in a bush is just going to be absolutely killer for a lane that has a Thresh support, just because of the fact you're going to have to avoid the saplings and not take that extra poke damage before you go in. And it can basically just ruin all of your engages. And then with that Vladimir and the Fiddlesticks, that is a lot of AP damage coming out on the side of Falcon Esports.
Yeah, they're going for some really heavy AP Wombo combo. And just to quickly go over why Rumble is being played right now for people who may have not seen the changes or don't know exactly the reason why he's being picked. So basically, Riot made some changes to his overheat passive. That made it so that he now gets percent health magic damage and extra attack speed when he does overheat. That is really good for clearing jungle camps, and that was an intended change to make him push him out of the mid lane and make him a better top lane duelist. But it really increased his clear speed, and he's always been effective with how long range his equalizer is and the short cooldown of it. So, yeah, that's mostly why we're seeing him come back. And BBZ has just locked in a really standard composition, and with the Aphelios Thresh coming out, that's something we were seeing a lot in the last couple months, and it's coming back a little bit now.
It is. One thing that BBZ is going to have to be really careful with, I think, is just trying to control that vision game, because the Fiddlesticks on the side of Falcon obviously works the best when he's unknown where exactly he is, and able to get that fear off by hitting you over a wall, jumping over the wall with his ultimate. I think that's going to probably be one of BBZ's biggest troubles, though, because anytime they try to go into that jungle or try to put wards into off-kilter places, they have the risk of running into a sapling or a random Fiddlesticks ward or totem, and you basically have to kind of like you're gambling at that point if you walk into a Fiddlesticks totem. It's like, is this actually Fiddle, or is it just the totem and it's just doing something random?
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like at least for BBZ, I'm noticing that they have some different players in. I'm not sure if Woof Woof and Nier are just name changes or they are different players entirely. Hopefully, I'll get something on that. But at the moment, I really like what both teams have selected. Having so much magic damage from the side of Falcon is going to be something that they're going to need to be concerned about. They really are going to need to have a heavy AD threat coming from their mid and most likely their AD carry. I'd prefer them to pick ADs in both those lanes. And yeah, it's going to be really slow, and they're probably going to have to put that Vladimir into another lane because they try to select it in the mid lane.
Yeah, against a Victor, I'm not exactly like I'm not a big mid lane player, so I'm not into 100% on how that matchup plays. So I have a feeling it leans more towards Victor. But seeing the Caitlyn come out right here, that is a really nice AD threat that you were saying that they needed to pick up, because that's going to allow them to poke down that bot lane before they have a chance to engage. Basically means if Thresh gets a hook, he's at a low enough HP point to where it's very risky for him to even want to go in. And then we've got the Volibear coming out, which is just going to add extra front line for Falcon. That's going to allow Fiddlesticks time to loop around, get out of sight, jump on people from the side, and keep Caitlyn protected. I'm really liking Falcon's comp right now. Just like you have those huge AP threats plus that Caitlyn, and it's just going to be really nice.
Yeah, they definitely have gone back to something that's really easy to execute. They're not going to have a lot of versatility, but it's not going to be difficult for their win condition to come off. But I believe BBZ has something that's probably a little bit more solid into the meta. They have a front line, they have an AP mage that can do well into Vladimir, and then they have this heavy team fighter on the Rumble that's going to make it really difficult for Falcon to control the dragons and prevent the stacking. So I really like what BBZ has selected here, and it looks like, in my opinion, that have won the draft by a small margin.
They definitely, yeah, I think they may have won it by a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lean towards Falcon on this one just because I feel like that Fiddlesticks is gonna be a bigger threat than we're kind of giving it credit for. And I'm pretty sure that if I remember correctly, Nier has played a couple of games. Wolf is the one that I'm a little bit hesitant on. But I think I recognize that name. I don't know about you, but I'm about ready to see how this game plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to get into it and see what both teams have for our first game and first week back.
First day, first game, first week back, and this is going to be exciting. We've got that 5-3 Falcon Esports versus the 6-2 Blue Bayou Zoo. I think that this is going to be a really exciting game. I don't expect a lot of craziness happening early game. I think that we're going to basically have pretty standard openings, but I think that the bot lane is actually going to be where all the excitement happens.
Absolutely, and I'm seeing now that Wolf is Sunga, so they do have Sunga in on the Thresh, and they have the Nier as he's either a new player or a name change. I'm not sure, but at least at the moment, it looks like they have something more consistent of what their roster tends to be. BBZ has all having the BBZ into their tag. And this is a little bit of trade, not going to be much, but I'm really happy to see these lanes come out, and I want to see Sungo and Red play more aggressively. We've actually had the opportunity to scrim these guys and get some more intel on how they play. They can be a really, really passive bot lane, kind of looking for that team fighting. I want to see them play more aggressively with what they have here today.
Yeah, anytime you see a Thresh, you want to play aggressive. At the same time, there's that Flay that's more designed for counter engage that I think is really good, but they're not up an engage comp right now. So we're probably going to expect anytime Haps goes in, does that tunnel underground in order to try and hop onto the Aphelios, that Thresh is probably going to do whatever he can to peel that off. But I have a feeling, like you're talking about aggression, we're already seeing Red come out here, sitting on the far side of the lane. They're ready to start poking this.
Yeah, absolutely. The red gun's going to be really good for this to stand early. Maokai is a weak laner. Riot has consistently nerfed those saplings and made it more difficult for him to get the same value that he was getting before. And Aphelios is a really, really strong one. He can play aggressively and doesn't have to worry about his escape opportunities. So that's why this lane has been picked so often in competitive play and why it's coming back now. And they have kind of anti-synergy with the Caitlyn and the Maokai. Both these champions want to do two different things to win the lane, so it's going to be kind of difficult to see how they're going to manage to win regardless of what they have here.
We got some nice trading going on up in the top lane. I feel like Paytime is going to be giving Nier a run for his money because just look at all that damage he's putting onto that Scion. And in the bot lane, Songo taking a nice bit of chunk from the saplings as well as Caitlyn. That was a nice Q coming. Time we also have Dax moving in on Camel Basil, trying to get some pokes off, but he's just going to pull out and get away.
Yeah, really well done on the side of Campbell. He did dodge both the harpoons. The W is going to get really a lot of value into this matchup. Both the champions, their damage can be avoided by that pull from Vladimir, so really well done on that part. And the lanes are shaping out about to expectation at the moment. There has been some good trading on the bot side, so that is a positive for the side of Falcon. But mostly, you expect these lanes to really even out and not really have much of an advantage other than the clear speed of these two junglers.
Yeah, I'm kind of like wondering exactly how this game's going to play out. Look at this right there. Paytime taking a nice bit of chunk damage from Nier. He has actually put himself in a really bad spot. He took way too much minion aggro, but look at this. That is a man who knows exactly what he's doing, how to control his wave, and it's one of the hardest things. Oh, Songo might be getting caught here. That's a flash coming out. That is a nice dive onto Songo. Songo getting knocked around. That is a Flay to try and stay alive, but that's going to be an Ignite that brings him down, and a First Blood going over to our friends, the Falcon Esports, as Wild West Wild picks up the kill.
Yeah, and then there's going to be a solo kill in the top side, so we're going to actually see what has occurred here. It looks like there's just a full channel from the Scion Q, and then the walk-up with the grass proc is going to knock him out. Actually, was this just going to be the E from the Scion?
It looks like Paytime got a little bit too big for his britches and just got booted by a minion.
Yep, it's the Roar the Slayer is going to pick up the kill. And yeah, but basically what we saw is it looks like that there was a little bit of optimization error on the side of Dax. He's still level 3, and then you have the Fiddlesticks, who is
Got
also
a
level
nice
4.
fight going on here. That is a lockdown on Dax as Dax is forced to flash out, but that is going to be a huge fight in the mid lane as Lights is taking a lot of damage, gets ignited. It's not going to be enough to take him down as that potion does its work.
And that is going to be a pathing error on the side of Dax. He's still level 3. He should be level 4 at this point. He may have messed up that early Rumble clear, maybe not having enough practice on the champion to make sure he can get there at that 315 Scuttlecraft. So that's going to put Fiddlesticks in a really commanding position, as he's going to be 3 camps up, going to have the opportunity to base and come back up and contest his top side crab with the priority from his top and mid lane.
And we've already got an early TP coming out from near, so that means that when this dragon comes up, it's going to be basically he's going to have to already be walking down there if he wants to join that fight, or he's just going to be completely absent. If we're already seeing Fiddlestick start to head to his topside jungle, most likely doing a full clear going down in that direction towards dragon, which it looks like Rumble is matching. Not even contesting the Scuttle Crab, as that's straight where Wild West Wild goes.
Yeah, that's going to put him really far behind. So he's going to pretty much be permanently 3 camps behind if both junglers are full clearing. Fiddlesticks has a really fast clear, and in this type of matchup, when he does get a lead, he's not going to be able to be invaded. So this is really, really good for the side of Falcon and what they have here. And this is going to be a good opportunity to see if they manage to utilize this jungle advantage to secure some early Drakes.
Yeah, and I think like so which Drake is it that we have coming out right now? It looks like it's an Ocean Drake, so that means I'm anticipating an Infernal Soul. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my psychic abilities and call for that one. And we'll see how that plays out. And I think that's gonna be really important for both of these teams because they have such huge damage dealers on both sides.
Yeah, and after this first dragon's taken, we're going to have a pretty good idea of what the soul is going to be, since you have 50% chance of getting it correct. And it looks like these lanes are really, really working in the side of BBZ at the moment. These you would expect the sign to be a lot further behind than he is. He's going to have some control. He hits level 6 before the Volibear has. And I'm really, really liking this slow early game with both teams not doing too much to try to hard ruin the game before they can even get to a solid point. But this is going to be a really quick level 6 for the side of the Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, once Fiddle hits 6, that's when he becomes like a huge threat, and you have to be really, really careful and start avoiding him. Obviously, by the time this Drake is already up, so they're going to force this fight. We aren't going to have an ultimate on the bot lane. The only ones and even the mid laner. So the only ultimate I think available is going to be Lights and Near's just not going to be available for the fight.
Yeah, and they are setting up for this dragon. The mid push has been procured. This is still a level 5 Fiddlestick, so it's not a huge concern at the moment. And this looks like they're going to start it now with both the mid and bot having gotten their lanes pushed in. But that Fiddlestick's leashed SP. He's hit 6.
Just hit 6, so this is going to be an ult over the wall. That is going to be a nice spear once he hits it down. Here it comes, and boom! That is a nice spear, taking out Dax. Dax gets sloshed down. That is a flay coming out from Songo, but he ends up pushing the Caitlyn and the Maokai towards his teammate, and that is going to be a double kill going over to Vladimir as he comes in from the top side, and Camel Basil picks those up.
4 kills traded over with this Fiddlesticks are coming down. So this is something that Dax could have known if he quickly looked over to the CS of the junglers. But that leeching of XP was really, really smart on the side of Wild Wild. Getting that level 6. Now he's going to get R. They're going to barely see him outside of vision. They're going to not back off. So this R is going to come through. The smite's not going to even come down. And then that's going to be a huge amount of damage from 3 people getting hit by the Fiddlesticks R. There's nothing really to do after that. And a double kill picked up for the Vladimir is disastrous at this point in the game.
There was way too much CC on the side of Falcon for BBZ to even have a chance to respond. That's kind of one of those moments where it's like it's like a horror film. It's like you can see the monster just sitting right outside the window as the person walks by, and they're just kind of like creepily watching, eyes only moving. That's exactly what I imagined Wild West Wild was doing in that moment.
Yeah, and that's really a consistent thing we see from BBZ. It's one of their few flaws as a team. I think they have improved a lot in a lot of areas. But one of the things they often do is their jungler will sacrifice. He'll sacrifice CS. He'll sacrifice time, and he'll fall behind the enemy jungler very frequently from doing that. And then it puts them in a position where they're kind of at a disadvantage in levels. And sometimes the enemy jungler can manage to make a big advantage based on those type of disadvantages.
Yeah, and actually it's kind of giving me a little bit of a memory of a game that I played earlier today that probably shouldn't have won, where I was jungle and I was 3 levels behind the enemy jungler, and it was really, really bad, but we ended up winning because we played to our strengths, which was the fact that we had a Nico who everyone kept ignoring and kept taking objectives in the background. So I think that's exactly what BBZ is going to have to do here. They've got to figure out what's their unconventional win condition that's going to allow them to basically pull this game out from under Falcon Esports without them noticing.
Yeah, that is basically going to be our expectation. Lights is the main king of the show, so he has managed to stay even in CS. He's not fall super far behind, but those kills are going to make the Vladimir have that extra damage. Red is pretty much often supplementary damage in general. He's follow up. He's not mainly the top in the damage charts as the AD carry. So I really want to see what Lights can do as this game comes on later on.
Right, and I think one of the things that we can't discount is this Nier. That Scion is going to become absolutely nasty as this game progresses, and it's going to be a situation where his ult is not stopped by any of the CC that's available to the side of Falcon Esports. So one good Scion ulti from a flank is just going to cause a nice disruption to whatever fight is going on, and it's going to allow Lights a chance to put down their ultimate, drop that Hextech ultimatum, and just there's going to be a huge amount of AP damage that we really need to be seeing some MR coming out on the side of Falcon, and I'm not seeing anything on any other team right now.
Yeah, it looks like that Design has opted to go for armor, so he's trying to protect, and that's going to just be Lights dead. She's going to die. Yep. He got the full combo from the Vladimir, so really well played on the side of Camel. Always got to be concerned, and that's going to be the flash taken out too, so that's a big advantage for the Vladimir right there.
That is always one of the most frustrating things, and you saw that right there as Lights was just like, I have accepted my fate, and just stood there and took it, because there was literally nothing he could do at that point.
Yeah, he got hit by the full channel on the E, then the R came down with Ignite plus the empowered Q, so that's something to be really, really concerned about in lane. That's how Vladimir can pick up his solo kills, and he's going to get a big golden injection with this Rift Herald also going down into his lane.
Absolutely, big Rift Herald injecting gold right there, and then you've like that was a great play. Like that's one thing that I think we need to point out is Wild was Wild while that fight was going on in the mid lane had already moved over to Rift Herald, soloed Rift, and just immediately dropped it in the mid lane once he Camel Basil had picked up that solo kill, which is very, very good coordination that we've seen coming out of Falcon Esports.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though that the Rumble has managed to catch up in CS a little bit, he's still going to be down in XP based on those kills and assists that Fiddlesticks has gotten. So this is going to be really concerning, at least in the mid game, to see what they can actually do. All these lanes have to play super safe, and there isn't any cleanses on this bot lane from the side of this Ophelio, so he's going to be really vulnerable to just a flash root combo by the Maokai.
Yeah, the flash root plus fear is definitely going to be a huge thing for him to be afraid of, which I think they're actually going to be running into momentarily. That is a good wave control coming out from BBZ, though, allowing it to push into them so they don't have to worry about the Fiddlesticks coming out over the wall. And it looks like they might have already noticed him. Yeah, they already know. I think they already know that Fiddlesticks is over there. They're already pinging it.
Yeah, so it looks like he is going to be spotted onto this ward here. They had yet to clear it, so that's going to be the ward clear. So they shouldn't die to this. But here's the Volibear just in the jungle.
In the jungle, nice damage coming out from Paytime as it just basically forces Dax out of his own safe area. He's 2 levels under that top laner, which just allows Volibear to kind of roam around in the topside jungle doing whatever he wants. And that's basically, now that they know where Dax is, they kind of are able to reposition, anticipate this fight that's going to be coming around Dragon here in just the next couple of seconds, and it's going to be an easy pickup Drake for Falcon, I think.
Absolutely. They're at a humongous disadvantage at the moment. 2 levels in the mid lane already. It's going to be 1 as this level 9 has picked up, but Victor is not going to be in a position where he's going to be able to move. They have a really, really solid team fight composition already picked up, so they're going to have to play this mid game slow as BBZ doesn't have very many options of where they can go on the map. Other than this top side that has managed to pick up an advantage, but do you really want to be ganking for a Scion? And with this Dragon being picked up, that's a mountain, so that means either Infernal or Cloud. BBZ needs to hope it's a Cloud Soul.
Yeah, nope, it's an Infernal Soul. Like I said, I called it.
So the Rift is blazing, so an Infernal Soul.
Yup. Okay, so here's what I would do if I was on the side of BBZ right now. I would basically, like you said, you don't want to gank for a Scion. I am the exact opposite. I want to gank for that Scion. I want to kill this Volibear, and I want to get rid of that top turret to get Scion out of the top lane and get him involved in these other lanes. Rotate it so that you can get Aphelios and Thresh up there so that they're free farming.
He's dead.
Yeah, that's another combo coming out from the side of Camel Basil, just completely taking him out.
Yeah, when the flash comes out, if that full channel E lands with the empowered Q, there's just nothing that's gonna happen. Lights needs to play more. He needs to basically be sitting under his towers. Vladimir's gotten way too strong, way too early in the game. This is 13 minutes, and he's about to come back with a completed mythic item. So.
Look at all those souls! I don't think Thresh is saying needs more souls at this point.
Absolutely. So Thresh's soul scaling is something that is really undervalued. It does give him armor and AP, so it can be useful, and they're gonna need everything that they can get, especially with the way this has gone so far.
Yeah, in all honesty, it's like I think it's more of a thematic thing. I'm not a big fan of his passive in that sense. Like I think the scaling is there definitely, but it's one of those things where it's so behind the scenes that you just don't really notice it, if that makes sense. It is a nice route coming out to the side of BBZ Red. That is going to be Haps getting taken down really, really low, but that's going to be a nice trap coming down and a missed ulti coming out from Red, but the Lantern to escape means that the engage does not go too poorly.
Yeah, and that was their time to fight. They had a completed mythic onto the Aphelios. He has chosen to go for the more defensive option with the shield bow. Probably correct, given what he's going to be facing in this matchup, and the sustain that's going to be necessary to survive through a Vladimir Fiddlesticks. And it looks like at the moment this bot side has managed to stay in control while the gold lead hasn't expanded past this 4,000 mark for quite a while. But this is still not a good point for BBZ at the moment. And Falcons has done an amazing job setting up this early game.
Yeah, Falcons' early game has basically shut down the mid game from BBZ, and at this point it's just a matter of waiting until BBZ makes a big mistake, and then Falcons going to be able to pounce on it and capitalize and essentially keep them from ever getting to the late game.
I do have faith, at least back in the day, Sango was a very good Thresh player, so there is still some pick available. But it's really going to be on him because there's not a lot of CC in the composition. They have a Rumble who has no CC, Victor who provides very little, Aphelios who provides almost zero, and then they have the Scion who provides very little CC that's not telegraphed. So both the Q and the R are very easily dodged. So they're going to really need to have a concerted effort to land as much CC on possible, especially onto this Vladimir, who's going to be such a big threat in the mid game.
I agree. Like Sungo's Thresh is definitely not something to be undervalued, like at all. Like this right here is going to be exactly where you want to see it. He's going to get a nice hook off there. Good flay. Hook's coming out, but that's going to be a good juke. The juke sticks are live on the side of BBZ as Beshuat manages to just get out. Haps and Wild West Wild in the meantime are coming around the side. That is a good Lantern flash to bring Haps under tower. Look at that damage, and that is going to be a kill over the side of Red.
Yeah, very well done. Haps probably should have known better. The Maokai W is going to go no matter what.
Ooh, look at that. They know Wild West Wild. Oh, no. Sorry.
Oh, no. The Fiddlesticks he's going to be a little bit of trouble, but he'll be fine at the moment. But, yeah, that was a really good kill. They've gotten a trade back. Sunga probably could have executed that to a kill if he would have just landed the exhaust. The R is therefore undodgeable on the side of the Caitlyn, at least forces the Caitlyn flashed out. But very well played on just picking up something on the back end.
Oh, that was interesting. Took the damage, but didn't stop the back. Probably just a little bit too late. And look at that. We got a nice stun coming out from the pay time. Jumping onto this near. This is basically tanks slapping each other with big slabs of meat. They're just going whap, 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 back and forth. Equalizer coming out, though, as Dax decides to join the fray, forcing the ulti out of the Volibear. Pay time's in trouble. Tries to shield himself, but isn't able to as Nier picks up that kill.
Yeah, that's a Y flash moment. You're already caught out. You used the Volibear ultimate in place, so didn't get any distance with that. So at that point, just resign your fate. Just perish as you have died for your sins, and that's going to be a really good advantage on the top side. They are going to manage to go there and pick up a kill and get some gold onto this side. Hope he's going to need it to be. He's going to need to be a big tank. So hopefully he's going to pick up some magic resist soon, so he can actually frontline. Because at the moment, Vladimir Fiddlesticks can still take down a Scion very quickly.
Oh, super quickly, and I like the double red wards to basically prevent any wards from being dropped into this dragon pit, as this is going to be a easy Infernal Drake pickup. There is absolutely no vision for BBZ on this happening. They know that it's probably going on, but there's nothing they can do to contest it.
Yeah, this is a really disgusting dragon stacking. Falcons is going to have that dragon picked up at fit 1750, so that means the soul is going to be coming in 5 minutes. And are they going to be able to fight at 22? Probably not. So that's going to be a soul probably just picked up on the side of for Falcons. And if they manage to get that, that is the worst dragon for this type of team comp. That's so AOE burst heavy to have that extra follow up damage from an Infernal Soul.
What I think BBZ needs to do now at this point, now that the Scion has been uncaged, we've got it exactly here. He's sitting in this bot side. He knows that he's just waiting at this point for the rest of Falcon to push up, but it doesn't look like they're taking that bait. I think Bayou needs to basically be roaming this map as a 5-man at this point. They should not be split up. Look at that. Equalizer coming out, but there's so much damage coming out from the Fiddlesticks ulti. That fear just causes him to run right into the enemy Caitlyn. He's taking a lot of damage. Caitlyn's popping shots over the wall. That is going to be an easy pickup as Paytime takes down Red over there in the top lane. Scion getting a knockup, but it's not going to really matter. Thresh hook coming out, but he's pulling on the Big Bear. You don't want to be pulling on the Big Bear. Flash coming out from Vladimir as he picks up that kill on Thresh, and Songo goes down. Then we got Bully Bear down in the bot lane, jumping onto the Victor. Victor getting popped, and that is going to be lights out for Lights.
Yeah, that fight was just unwinnable from the draft. You're gonna have the Rumble. The Rumble's not gonna be able to even get anything significant off as he's gonna die instantly with the flash and the smite available. And this is a really struggling situation for BBZ.
You've got Nier who's just trying to use the protection of the tower that's just about to fall, but Paytime's just tanking it like a boss. That Big Bear energy is just too much to deal with.
Yeah, and but why? Why is he still there? There's no way you're gonna defend that tower, so you just basically.
He's still there because they want to force this fight. You've got, like I said, you got that 4-man coming down right now. Scion does not have ulti at this moment in time. Still got about 20 seconds left before it comes out, but that is gonna be a nice hook coming out as Wild West Wild has to go golden to stay alive, but it's not gonna matter because he's already deep in the enemy team. That's gonna be the shutdown gold going over to Aphelios as he's fighting through the heals coming out from Wild West Wild, and that is gonna be Rumble caught out having to go golden to stay alive as well. We've got a knockup right there from Nier. That is gonna be a Camel Basil exploding all over that Rumble. Rumble going down. Dax is out of this fight. Red's getting popped as well. That's another double kill going over to Camel Basil. Scion trying to get a knockup, but he's just going to get hit by the lightning bolt. He's having to ult away just to escape, and that is going to be another set of kills. 4 kills over to the side of Falcon Esports, and this game is all but over.
Yeah, that is a that's a why for both teams. You just took down the tower. You need to get your resets out to pick up all that gold you just accrued from the fight, the dragon, and all the things. So I'm sure BBZ wasn't expecting them to stay so long.
Camel Basil going underneath the root, getting out a lot of damage onto Lights, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, he just barely stays alive using the honey fruit to keep himself up. That airy proc was not enough to kill him.
But if you look how unfair these fights are. Victor is never really gonna have a chance to even contest the fight, and now they're gonna hope they're gonna
not in the slightest. And we've got another fight right here as Paytime's getting caught out, ulting away to just get that jump. That's gonna be the Raptors basically stopping the rest of that engage, as there's just gonna be enough damage from that camp to cause a problem.
Yeah, that's a small win. They did manage to get the camp picked up. Here's
look at that. We got a nice Songo hook coming out. That is Haps getting pulled back. That is not going to be enough damage, and it's going to be a flash out from Haps. A little unnecessary, but enough to secure the safety of his champion, but he's going to be able to get away. I think at this point, we're basically just going to be seeing fights all over the map.
Yeah, that's just looking for picks is basically all BBZ can do. The Aphelios ultimate was available, so that could have been a kill on the Maokai. Probably wouldn't have amounted to much in the long run, but any gold into this Aphelios is going to be vital. He is the champion that can carry these mid game to late game fights if he manages to pick up a lot, and Vladimir doesn't just one shot him. So that's the goal, and they need to get this Aphelios rolling.
They really need to get Aphelios onto the board. Where he's at right now, just look at that damage he did to Caitlyn. It was like he hit her with a piece of an orange. All right, we got Dax jumping onto Paytime, thinking that they've got themselves an easy pickup, but that's going to be a flash over the wall. That means it's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Payton has gotten caught out quite a few times in this game, so he's going to probably be a focus to someone who they can look to kill in these side lanes, as his side laning has been a little bit suspect, as that's where BBZ has managed to find things.
I think what's been going on right now is we've had a lot of situations where Nier getting caught out by that magic damage, getting completely shredded by the Maokai and the Vladimir.
Yeah, if Vladimir is doing that much damage to your tank, you know you're pretty far away from being able to effectively fight. And Soul's spawning in 15 seconds with no Scion are available, so this is going to be a disaster if they can't stop it, and they need to find an avenue in.
Yeah, Nier right now is just having to split build, unfortunately, because he needs that extra MR. It looks like he's built the Tenacity Boots, he's built the Aegis, probably going into... blanking on which item it would be at the moment. He's not building the Thorn Mail right away, but he's got the components for it. This is going to be an equalizer coming out. That dragon has gotten super low, draining coming out from the Fiddlesticks. That's just going to be an easy pickup on the Soul as blue team takes down the dragon. We're also going to get a double kill over to the side of Vladimir as this fight just keeps going on in the backline. Look at that damage as Lights just got completely bursted. That was 90% of his HP gone in one strike. BBZ Red's just going to walk out. Scion's trying to escape as well, goes over the... into the air, but gets killed, and now becomes a zombie as he tries to chase these guys down, but is not going to be able to pick anything up.
Yeah, there's just nothing to do. There's not going to be even any reprisal, as on the trade kill that was going to come through on the Maokai didn't even come through, so they didn't even get that. And the team fight disadvantage is just so massive at this point. You see how much work this Vladimir is doing. That's a full Medjai's. He has his death cap, he has his completed mythic, and he has that 25 stacks. He probably is having around 600 to 700 AP. And what are you gonna do against that when you have no CC that can go onto this Vladimir?
Exactly. I think all I've got to say is that BBZ shouldn't take too much. Take this too much to heart. Just kind of got to brush themselves up, get ready for the next game, because this is probably just the rust and the dust getting brushed off from that break week. Everyone's going to come back a little bit finicky, which is probably why we're seeing Falcon playing the way that they are. They've been letting themselves get caught out a little bit. Paytime being a little bit overly aggressive. However, I do think that Wild West Wild has done a fantastic job of roaming, and Camel Basil has completely locked down this game with how much damage they're outputting. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, this is just one of those situations where as long as they're able to effectively figure out what has gone wrong, what was the problem, how did this happen, and what got us here, this is something that BBZ shouldn't be too concerned about, as this could definitely be a rust-filled game. But this is going to be really, really quick, easy to close out from the side of Falcon if they manage to play effectively.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this is all but one for them. It's going to take a lot for BBZ to come back, unfortunately. It's going to be really tough. We've already got the Baron buff out, which we haven't even mentioned yet. He picked it up right after Soul. This is just going to be an easy siege in the top lane as Vladimir can just 1v1 this Scion. That's going to be a red turret destroyed. The ace in the hole coming out from Caitlyn doesn't manage to pick up a kill, but it probably wasn't meant to. But, you know, in regards to Rust, who do you think is going to be a bit more rusty in the next game? You think it's going to be the trees, or do you think it's going to be that sword?
I would probably say the trees. They were on a downswing before the break, so unless they were able to properly utilize their time and come back from that mental problems that they demonstrated in some of the other games where they were struggling in some aspects that they had been very strong before. I think that the Spear is on the uptick, and that's going to be their opportunity to take a game off the top team.
Look at this Bear just not giving a care as he dives under there and just completely takes out Lights. That was actually a really good flash coming out from the Victor, able to escape. That is going to be Paytime having to go golden this time in order to survive, as he just gets 3-manned by the rest of BBZ.
Yeah, the Scion is going to die on the opposite side of the map, so there's not going to even be a really big advantage. That's multiple towers going down also, so this gold lead has ballooned further, and I'd expect the group for an inhib right now, and then is there really any contest to fight? You can't fight without the Chaos Storm and the Equalizer, so this is probably just going to be an inhib that's going to come through.
Yeah, there's nothing that I think BBZ can really do at this point. We might get a Hextech ultimatum dropped down onto the backline, but I don't think it's actually going to matter. We've got a nice stun put out, but that's just going to be grouped inhib. That's going to be a jump onto the back of Camel Basil, but it's not going to manage to pick up a kill. Instead, that's going to be 2 kills and an inhibitor and a 3rd kill going over to the side of Falcon Esports, as they're just going to clean this game up at this point. I think this is a push for the end. That is an ace coming out right there, as this game has all but ended. Nier not coming up quite quick enough to end that ace. He's just going to sit under tower here, probably try and get some pops off, but look at that damage. Look at that damage. We got the cheeky little teleport coming out as well.
Yeah, that's going to be Falcon wrapping it up. Really clean game, getting everything that they wanted done, fighting effectively, and this game is going to be really... They need to thank Wildcard. His pathing, his positioning, him getting to level 6 so early really put them on an advantage to get this type of win, and that's a jungle diff game right there.
That was I don't think it was entirely a jungle diff. I think it was also mid diff too, because that Vladimir was just doing so much damage to the Scion by the end of the game that he didn't have any MR available at the time in order to really do anything. Oh, he was building the chem tank. That's what he was building up top with that item.
Yeah, and the Vladimir
Man.
picking up 2 kills is probably 2 kills at that dragon fight is probably really, really bad on the side of Lights. Granted, he did get a solo killed a couple times after that, but yeah, that's just something you don't want to have happen to a champion that's supposed to be a late game scaler, to get those early kills.
Yeah, because then his late game just comes in the mid game, and you're like, oh no, this is not good.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not really honestly, there's not gonna be much to say for that one. I'm excited to see what Falcon's gonna say. Whoever we have decided to interview.
I think one thing to point out is that the Rumble jungle definitely looks like it was effective. The problem that ended up happening though is just how squishy Rumble is by the nature of the kit. He is kind of designed to be in a top lane in a situation where he's able to sustain, and it doesn't look like that's super accessible for him in the jungle. However, there were some really good equalizers coming out that if he had been a little bit higher level, had a few more items, basically kept up with the Fiddlesticks, it would have changed the way those fights were going. And I think that it is going to be something we have to keep an eye out for the rest of these games. And Rumble could be something that we see a lot more of.
Yeah, I expect it's still really strong. I expected the optimization of how to path, how to make sure you've cleared through all your camps, so you're level 4 at that first scuttle crab. That's a mistake. I don't see it, people. I don't see constantly happening. I think people will catch up and get used to that as the champion stays in the meta for quite a bit until the next couple patches come out, where it probably will be nerfed. So, Rumble was definitely strong, even though this was our first outing. You see, he still did a pretty decent amount of damage. So, and that's something that I really hope other teams to continue to take, and other teams other than BBZ continue to play.
And we've got the healing stats pulled up right here, and I think that's also something that we need to look at as we were looking at the items. I don't believe there was any grievous wounds on the side of BBZ. Admittedly, the one who should have been building it probably would have been the Victor, just because he knew that he was going to be. Yep, we have the gem on the side of Victor and the bramble vest on the side of Nier, so there was a little bit, and it looks like that the orb was built a little bit late. Maybe you want to build that a little early against a champion whose kit is entirely designed around healing. And so with that, I think though it's like you said, this was a good game. It was a pretty good game to see everyone like get the rust shaken off. Like we're just gonna have to. Everybody's gonna have to come back swinging. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Stick around.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here on the interview desk again, joined by Campbell Basil from the victorious Falcons Esports. How you feeling after that win?
Feeling pretty solid once again.
Yeah, you're kind of a frequent guest of mine, it seems like, recently. We'll talk more about your success as a team in a second, especially your role in the success. But talk to me first about the game plan coming into this game against the Commish. You're matching up against BBZ, who's actually going into this game was ahead of you in the standings. You guys pull out. You get the Vlad. They don't scout. Blind no OPG.GG on these guys' computers, I guess. What was the plan coming into this game, and how did you feel about the draft matchup you got?
Honestly, I'm always looking just to get my champs out, and for some reason they banned Seta, and they left Vlad open and Fiddle, so we just grabbed those, and the game basically explains itself what happened.
Going on from that, your explosion in this game. I'm looking at the stats right now. I think you have the absolute most kill participation on your team. You're at 22 out of 25, so you're freaking killing it that game. Pardon me. Don't ban me, Koshi. What was your thoughts on this Vladimir Victor matchup? And also, if you wouldn't mind letting me know about like the Airy Tech, because I didn't know that. I think I've heard of it before, but I don't know if this is what's the thoughts on this?
Okay, so with the matchup with mid lane, so Victor just is supposed to hard poke me out, and since my CD's like long, but that didn't really happen that game. So he just let me scale, and then we got like a good team fight, and I picked up some kills. So nothing really much you could do there. And about the Airy Tech, so I play Vlad a lot, and sometimes you get sick of just waiting to scale. So the Airy is just good it makes you like almost an early game champ. You can take dumb trades, do some hard trades. It's pretty good, and it has like no restriction. So you have to do like 3 stuff for like electrocute or phase rush. Super easy to use, always gets value. It's pretty good in my opinion.
Interesting. I like your thoughts on that. Okay, well, let's talk about your team's trajectory in this league. Like I said, you guys were technically the underdogs going into this matchup. Now you're tied up with BBZ in the standings, and you're looking at a match tomorrow against PTP. What are your thoughts on this? Your place in the league and where you're headed?
Tomorrow should be, the next match should be we should just win. I think we should just win. Just wait to go against Yubi again, to be honest. And that's pretty much it.
Everyone's lining up to take a swing at the champ, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us, Campbell Basil, for the interview. Excellent game today. Any final thoughts before we go?
I was just waiting on that Yubi match, to be honest. Yubi.
All right. Everyone, keep your eyes peeled on the calendars, but don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back with Game 2.